Good morning, or I guess it's good afternoon some places, right?
Here it
Uh,
is. Yep.
yeah, yes, it is, eh? It, I'm Ron Brown and Hewie Poplock.
I'm here.
So we are here with learning Chromebooks. The replay, or you're watching it as a YouTube short. Um, just let you know that we are we run this we run the show once a month. It is a monthly show for 1 hour. We've been doing it. I guess this is our 25th episode, Huey. I haven't checked
Something
this.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done this will be over 2 years that we've done this once a month. We have a wide body of information there, a lot of videos that we've put out, and we've done this once a month. I think that the it's been a busy time for us, and we've got, as I said, 24 of our past episodes online, which of course you can watch. We are going to take a month holiday next month in November. This week will fall on Thanksgiving week, so there will be no learning Chromebook series on in November, and we'll catch up with you again, I guess, at Christmas in December.
Yeah, just before Christmas. But uh, the uh, lear- uh, the Tech for Senior Live will be on Thanksgiving earlier.
Yep, we'll be doing the Monday and the Thursday show as usual, but learning Chromebooks, we won't. Now, the other thing that happened this month, we were talking about that earlier. Maybe you're all aware of this, but Chrome OS, the operating system, um, is not widely distributed. Huey has that on his Chromebook, but I do not have it on mine. And so we are waiting. And of course, there is no real new features on the versions. Most of the updates have all been the security, which is occurring behind the scenes. So there's nothing really to make a video and show you about because there are no changes. So we had to scratch our heads today and say, well, what are we going to talk about? And I said, well, Huey, why don't you sing? And Huey said, well, I don't think people want to listen to me sing, right? And he said to me, why don't you dance? And I said, well, I'm not a very good dancer. So we had to scratch our heads and come up with what we were going to talk about. So what we thought we would do is we would pick one of our videos that we've done before, and we would something that would be very appropriate to talk about, and we'd play that first, see if anyone has any comments or questions. Then we can go over some of the news articles that we have. And I have also chosen an interesting video I made, and I'm glad Chris Rosinski's here because he'll remember this, and we should have a good talk. And I want to play the video that I made, and everyone will be and you can watch that, and it should be a good chat about that. Huey,
Yeah.
do you want to do your printer one first?
Sure, I'll do it. Let me just preface it. I decided to use this one because it's the most widely viewed video of all of my videos. Over 27,000 people have watched it. And so it's about 2 years old. Some of the screenshots may be a little bit off, but for the most part, I think it will still fit. Cloud print was something that Google had that is no longer available. And I talk about removing it. Most of you probably don't have it to remove, but let's go ahead and let me go ahead and share how to print from your Chromebook without using Google Cloud Print. I'm Hewie Poplock. This is from an article by Michael Perigo at Chrome Unboxed, and there is a link to the actual article. With Google Cloud Print going away in just a few weeks on December 31st, 2020, many of you have seen the notice plastered at the top of your Chromebook's print dialog and have reached out to ask what your options are going forward into the new year. Google Cloud Print, or GCP, was created during a time when Google needed to act as an intermediary for Chromebook users' print jobs because many printer manufacturers, did not create drivers for Chrome OS due to its lack of widespread usage. Since that has changed so drastically in the past few years, GCP is no longer necessary, even though it will be missed. And most printers work with Chromebooks out of the box with minimal setup. Here's what happens. You go from your computer or your Chromebook or your Android device, go to Google Cloud Print, and then to the printer. Well, that's not going to be necessary anymore. In fact, it's going to be impossible after the December 31st. So, also, with many printers, you can simply buy a USB-A to B cable from your local Best Buy or computer store. Just ask for a printer cable and plug it in to print. That's what the cable looks like. You may even have one lying around your house. This is by far the easiest method for printing on your Chromebook, though the drawback is that your laptop will need to remain tethered to the printer during the process. The second easiest method, connecting your Chromebook to a wireless printer using your home network, and the cups method. For most Chromebook users, standard wireless printing with cups should be a viable replacement for the Google Cloud Print. Cups, or Common Unix Print Service, allows you to print one or two sided pages in black and white or color, set up advanced printing attributes like stapling, paper trays, and even pin code printing management. Basically, it's what you've likely always used before GCP without even realizing it. I will recommend Google's excellent step-by-step visual simulator by Partner Dash, and here is the link. I'll give you a second to take a look at it. In order to get printing on your Chromebook, you'll need to visit the Printers section of the Settings app. To get there, all you need to do is tap on your Everything button or the Search button on your Chromebook keyboard and search for it. Next, and this is very important, let's remove your GCP printer from the list of available printers on your device. You may need to remove it from Google Cloud Print web interface, but removing it locally should suffice for now. Since you no longer need it, nor can use it soon, it reduces confusion later if we just remove it now. If you want to wait until it stops working to make sure that you have to go through this, you can do that as well. Once you're in the Settings app on your Chromebook, click in the search bar at the top and type in Printing to get there. If you see your existing printer listed, tap the three dots next to it and then tap Remove. Let's take a look. Settings, Printing, then the three dots, and then remove the GCP printer if applicable. So here is my screen. I click on the Start button or the Search button, and then on this I get this coming up, and then I type in Print at the top in the search, and you'll see Printing is down below with the gear. So I click on that and it opens up the settings and takes me to the printers. And my saved printers is strictly my Brother printer. And those are the three dots on the right. If I click on that with my mouse, it'll say Edit or Remove. And what it's saying that I may have to remove it and then reinstall it. All right, so let's connect your printer over the Wi-Fi instead. Since you're already in the printer settings, tap the little icon to the right of Add Printer. And let's go back there. Notice at the bottom it says Add Printer. A dialog box will pop up called Add Nearby Printer. So long as your printer and your Chromebook are connected to the same network, it should appear on this list. Settings, printing, printer icon, select printers from the list. And then you look at the list. If it's not showing, make sure that both the devices are on the same Wi-Fi and try again. If this worked, congratulations. Your printer has been successfully connected to your Chromebook. If you continue to have issues, you're going to connect it using your IP address instead. Your printer's IP address is a unique identifier that allows your Chromebook to communicate with it. To get your printer's IP address, just go to the tiny screen on the front of your printer, tap the cogwheel icon to scroll down to Network or Wireless, and then find View Wireless Details or something similar. I'm generalizing because each company buries the address under different verbiage. You can check with HP, Epson, Brother, Canon, or any other manufacturer for step-by-step instructions via a Google search. Once you locate the IP address, it can be printed out, or you can scribble it down on a piece of paper, or just memorize it, and head back over to your Chromebook. Okay, let's get back on track. So you've tapped on the printer icon and are now presented with a dialog box that is titled Add Printer Manually. Fill out all of the required fields, giving your printer a name. Enter the IP address you just found. It's usually 192.168.something.something, where the X's represent numbers unique to your printer. And then click the blue Add button at the bottom right. You can leave the protocol box and the queue as they are. On the next screen, choose the brand and model of your printer. If your model isn't listed, just find something close to it as you can. This just determines whether or not you get some settings unique to your printer in the print preview window later on. Now, click the blue Add button at the bottom right again, and you've successfully added your printer. If you're printing wirelessly for the first time on your Chromebook, you'll probably find that clicking Control plus the letter P on a document and choosing the blue Save button at the bottom right of the print preview does not send it to your printer. This is very important, and I found many people who continue to have issues do so because they've forgotten to change their print destination. To fix this, just choose the first drop-down labeled Destination and change it from Save as PDF to your printer name. You may need to click See More and then choose your printer from additional dialog box that appears. It's going to look like something like this. Notice on the right, by default, it changed when you have no printer to Save as PDF. You need to then See More, and when you do, you'll see that it may say something like whatever you labeled your printer, it's going to see it, and then you click that, and you want to save that as your destination. If you followed all of the steps above, you should have a printed document coming out of your printer as you read this. Congratulations. Happy printing. I'm Hewie Poplock.
Well done, Hewie. That was a good one. You did a good job with that.
Yeah, and remember that some printers just won't connect to your Chromebook. Especially if it's an older printer, you may have some issues. But most of the current ones will work without a problem.
So Hewie, I have a question for you. I have a printer problem.
Okay.
All right. Now this is actually a Chromebook printer problem I have. I have a Brother laser printer, which is a very old laser printer. In fact, I've talked to you before about that. It's an old commercial printer. It's I bought it, and it's over 80 pounds and required a two-person lift to get it onto the table. Nobody has this printer anymore, right? but it's going to last me till I die, and it's a great printer, right? Now, on my Chromebook, which I have, it does find the printer. That's not a problem. It finds the printer, and as you suggested, I hook it up. The problem is when I send a print job to the printer, it prints one ASCII, how will I put it, little block of text per page. And so if I print a page out and I print it from like upstairs in my lazy boy chair where I'm sitting there, and I say, I want this for my studio later, I come down and there's 350 pages printed off on my printer, right? And so I don't really print anymore off my Chromebook on my printer down in my office, because I don't want 350 pages. So I guess I just have a real old printer that just won't work with my Chromebook. Is that what you think?
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what else, since it is printing.
It is.
you
Yeah,
have
it's
a
hitting.
connection.
Yeah.
It's the settings that it's a problem. You might go in and see if there's any kind of settings that you can do within the printer itself. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that up as a subject,
Yeah.
because
So
other people may have that problem if you're trying to print with a very old printer.
yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have any questions or?
Actually, back in my previous year's experience with printers and that, if you try printing as a PDF, you may be able to get it past that carriage return that prints to 350 pages.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I guess I could save it as a PDF and then print the PDF, eh?
Right.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Good thought, Bill. Thanks a lot. Probably that will work, right? Have you?
It checks in the mail, right?
Yeah. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. That may work. I guess one of the things that and I talk about this a lot in some of the presentations I do. I guess I don't print very much. I mean, there's no need to print. And so it's very unusual that I actually print. So I can live without printing because I just don't print very much, right?
Right. And if you find that you're getting, like you say, extra pages or something, a lot of times there'll be a page length variance between the A4, I believe it was, and the 8.5 by 11. Usually if you go in there and delete the last line, that'll take care of that.
Okay. Thanks for your thoughts on the PDF. I think the PDF, I'm going to try the PDF. I knew that actually. That's an old trick us techies have used for a long time, but I haven't, I forgot about that.
Some of those old tricks we need to keep a hold of.
That's right. You're exactly right, Bill.
So if you can hear me, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sure, Ron, go ahead.
I was kind of interested in what you're saying there during that video, but I can't write as fast as the video. Is there some place I can go back and look at that?
Yeah, I'll find the link for it. It is on my channel, and it's also part of one of the Learning Chromebooks reruns as well.
Oh,
but I'll
okay.
find the actual video for
Okay,
you.
thanks.
And just remember, Ron, this is being taped, and this will be sent out to you probably in the next 24 hours, so you can replay this video as well, which will have that video in it.
All right. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Yeah. All right. And no further questions. Hewie, why don't I play my video now as well, and then we can do the news articles at the end?
Sure.
Is that okay? Because
Yeah.
there might be some questions about this. All right. Now the video I chose to play is one of my favorite videos I've made. It was, and as we say in the show, I guess showbiz, it wasn't a box office success, right? And I made this. I think the only person who realized what a great video this was Chris Rosinski, who commented on this when I first made it. And in fact, I made it such a long time ago the Chromebook that I made this on, I sold to Chris Rosinski. So Chris, this is made from your Chromebook I sold you. So, but it does have some very interesting things to talk about, and I'll talk about those after I play the video, play this. Now, I think since this is an educated group and you're all understand about Chromebooks, I think you will appreciate it. When this went out, it went to people I think probably just didn't quite understand what this was all about, but I think you'll get it. And then we'll talk about this after. So let me share my screen. Good morning. It's Ron Brown with Silvercon Computer and Technology Club. The title of today's presentation is It's Only a Chromebook. Today's demo will be done with my Chromebook Samsung Plus. The goal of this presentation is to show you some time-saving key commands to demonstrate a new feature in Chrome. You're able now in the Chrome operating system 77 is to use Google Assistant. I'm going to show you how virtual desktops work. And at the end of the presentation, a wow factor. You're going to go, wow, this is pretty impressive. So let's get on with the show. There are 3 ways to move between tabs in your browser. You can use a mouse to do a click and move to the second browser, or you can use the control key plus a number. So if you wanted to see the second tab, you could use control number 2. This would allow you to keep your fingers on the keyboard while you were typing. Or you can do a 3-finger swipe. Explain. In this demo, you'll see my Chromebook. I have my arrow at the top, and I'm on Amazon. I'm now going to click on the East Valley Computer Club, or I will come to our home page. And this is by clicking the tabs at the top of your screen in your Chrome browser. Now, you can also move between tabs by control 1, 2, or 3. So you'll see I have control 1, I'm in Amazon, control 2, I'm in the East Valley, and control 3, I am at our home page. Now you also can use 3 fingers on your keyboard, or trackpad, sorry, to move left or right. So in summary, there are 3 ways to move between tabs in your browser. You can use a mouse, you can use the control key plus number, or you can do a 3-finger swipe to the left or right. If you want to take a screenshot of your Chromebook's screen, you can use the key command control plus the overview or multitasking key. I've taken a picture of the key and outlined it in red on the left side of your screen. If you want to take a specific area of the screen, you can use Control, Shift, and the overview or multitasking key. And this will do a capture of the region that you want to take of your screen. A new feature just added with the Chrome operating system 77 is the Google Assistant. So you can just say the magic word and your you know what will come up, and you'll be able to ask any questions you want as you have on your Google phone. It is possible to split the screen on your Chromebook so that you can have 2 tasks running at the same time. To do this, you can use your control plus the square box you'll see outlined in red. If you want the pane to be on the left side, you would hit control left square box, and if you wanted to have it on the right side, you would hit Control square box on the right. Let's see how this will work now. This is a picture. We're now coming into the Files menu, and I'm going to want the Files menu on the left side of the screen. This is actually, sorry, the Docs menu, and I'm going to want it on the left side of the screen. So I'm going to hit Control and the left button. Now this is the news feed that I want on the right side of the screen, and I would hit Control the right box for the right side. And now we have two applications open in the same screen. And again, to split the screen, it's Control square box left or square box right. Now, in the operating system 77, you now have the ability to have virtual desks. Let me explain what that is. When you go to your overview button and you look at the top right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a icon saying New Desk. Let me explain how this works. This is the screen in which we have the two applications opened as I just described. We now are going into the overview mode, and you will see at the top right hand corner, you will see a new desktop. I'm going to click on this, and that is going to bring up, and we're going to make a new desktop. We have the original one that we have, which is here, but we are going to make a new desktop. We can actually make 4 desktops in a Chromebook. So let's take, this is our first desktop that we've made. On the left side you'll see Google Docs. On the right side you'll see a web page on technology. On screen 2, I'm going to put in Google Photos. And for screen 3, now this is where I've made a mistake, and I've chosen the PowerPoint Online, and it chose the Desk 1 because that's where Chrome was. I wanted to add the PowerPoint app to screen 3. And then to desktop 4, we're going to add Firefox. So when we come back to the overview mode here, you'll see desktop 1. We have, again, I'll have to get PowerPoint off of there. We have our original split screen, which we can now work in our documents, and we can view our technology reports. We have Google Docs in 2, and in screen 3 we have PowerPoint, and in screen 4 we have Firefox running. Now, how to switch between virtual desks. The first way to switch between virtual desks on the left-hand side is simply to use the overview key, and that will bring up your 4 desktops. However, you can simply select the application that you're using, and it will take you to that desktop. Let me explain this now in the next slide. Why would you use a virtual desktop when you can click through the tabs? In other words, if you have all those applications open, you could simply open them in a tab and switch between the tabs. Well, the reason would be is you can have multiple apps open in the same window, and that will give you more efficient workspace. Let me show you how this would work. I've now taken and I've made some desktops with multiple windows open. So this is our first, you'll see desktop 1, desktop 2, desktop 3, and desktop 4. Let's look at desktop 1. Again, it has Google Docs on the left side, and it has my news application on the right. We're going to take desktop 2, which of course has my Google Photos in it. We're going to take desktop 3, and I'm doing some work here, and I'm using PowerPoint to create some presentations, but I want to load some files, so I have my Files app open along with my PowerPoint. And in desktop 4, I want to use Firefox for some news clips, and then I've got a word processor open here called LibreOffice. This is their word writer, and it is open in the second pane. So I can switch between these different desktops simply by clicking on the desktop, and it will open it up. But if you come down here and you look at the first desktop is a dock. So when I click the Docs app, it brings up the first desktop because the Docs app is in the first desktop. I don't have to go to the overview. Now in the second desktop, all I have to do is click on the Google Photos. The third desktop, I just click on the PowerPoint and it will bring up the third desktop. And for the Firefox, I just bring that up, and that's desktop 4. Please note desktop 4. There's something special about it we'll talk about. So here are the 4 desktops that we've been demonstrating. What I wanted to talk about was in desktop 4, is desktop 4, as you'll see on the top, was actually running in Linux. In your Chromebook, if you go to settings, you'll see there is a settings for Linux beta, and if you turn this on, you will actually be able to, it will install Ubuntu, and you will actually have a fully functioning Linux machine. You can run both operating systems at the same time, and you can run Linux applications as well as Chromium applications. In desktop 4, I was running a Linux. Both applications were Linux applications. They were Firefox was run in Linux, and LibreOffice was run in Linux. So the demo today showed you multitasking with a screen, split screens. I showed you Google Assistant. I showed you the 4 virtual desktops you can have. We ran 2 operating systems at the same time, Chromium and Linux. We had applications from 3 different operating systems, Windows, Chromium, and Linux. So if someone says it's only a Chromebook, please show them this video. Have fun with your Chromebook. It's Ron Brown from Silvercom Computer and Technology Club. So the first thing, where's Chris Rosinski? Hey Chris, so how's my old Chromebook doing? That was
The answer is your old Chromebook is still in use. Our daughter has it. I bought an identical one, and the screen went bad on it, but the screen works. It's just the touchscreen part doesn't. But it's still going good. You know.
But the one I sold you is working good with your daughter.
Right. The other one is just a Chromebook without a touchscreen. But they're great machines.
Right. Chris and I taught Chromebooks at our computer club many years ago. And that actually, I think the video was produced probably 3 or 4 years ago. A lot is not much. Well, some things have changed. First of all, the number of virtual desktops you can use is now up. I think it's 8, or maybe it's more, but you can use up to 8. And certainly, we talked earlier. Gerald wanted to talk about using Linux, and my advice to you is that I've just shown you how to use Linux, and you can go into your Chromebook and in settings, turn on Linux and it will install. My advice to you is not to do that unless you really are serious about installing Linux, because the first thing that's going to happen is when you go through the whole install process, you're going to have a command line, and you're not going to know what to do with that command line. And so it's just going to it's just going to take a whole chunk of space on your hard drive. So if you're serious about Linux, go ahead and do that. Now, what I was trying to show you there, Gerald, is that you could see that the icons are there, and I'm running Linux, and I'm running the Chromium operating system. I'm even running a Windows app on there, and it's all running in the same system. So you don't want to have another GUI system or another display because it's just going to mess the whole thing up. But you can run Linux apps. Any Linux app you want can be run on your Chromebook, and there are specific reasons why you might want to do that, but it is an option for you. So I think that it was pretty cool 4 years ago to be able to show a Chromebook, because not a lot of people knew about Chromebooks and what was happening with them, and to be able to say, hey, look at what we just did, I thought was pretty cool. Those of you who haven't used the virtual desktop feature on your Chromebook, I would encourage you to do so. It is a great feature. In fact, it is. I was telling Hewie this weekend, I discovered a second desktop on my Windows machine, trying that, and that really works well. Because you can have all your applications open and have a completely second desktop open, so that it just makes things the workflow much easier. So you may consider that in using your Chromebook, and I would encourage you to do so. As I said, you can, in the video, there was only four applications, 4 virtual windows, but you can go up to 8. There may even be more. And certainly moving between the different virtual windows is got a lot better. They've changed that. That was an very old video, and they've made it more seamless and a lot of new features. And I've commented, and we've made some videos about virtual desktop since that was made. But so anyway, so there's lots of new information about virtual desktops, but I'd encourage you to do so. And if you are interested in using any Linux apps or any specific technical apps that you want to use, certainly that's something you can do on a Chromebook. The only thing is to remember that when you install Linux, you get a command line, and the first thing you're going to say is, oh my gosh, what do I do? And that's why, like Gerald said, it's helpful to be within a Linux group. And that was certainly the case at Silver Ridge when I was there. I trotted over to the Linux group next door in another park, and they helped me with that, because it's a whole other world out there.
Yeah, Bill, Ron Jolland said in the chat, very cool. You can actually also rename each desktop by pressing the overview key and then clicking on the name, say desk 2, and rename it so you can easily recognize each desktop you have open.
Correct. Right. Good. Thanks, John. Good point. Yes. Go ahead, Bill. Unmute yourself.
Yes, I put it in the comments there, my question. Will we be able to put the live transcript in one virtual desktop while watching Zoom speaker view in the other?
I think because they're part of the same program, I don't think you're going to be able to do that, but I'm not sure.
Unless you ran multiple copies of the program, and you could have a second program running, like Could you do that? Could you have two? I guess you could have two copies running on one. It would be complicated.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
I
sure if
also
the. Go ahead, Jolyn.
Yeah, I think would be better to use the split screen for that. You can pop out the transcript and have
Yeah.
it on one side, split screen, and then have the Zoom meeting. I do that. I host a jam session, a virtual jam session every Wednesday, and I have the Zoom on one side and I have my music on the other side, and I'm able to see everybody and control the mute and all that, and then read the lyrics while I'm playing. So rather than, I don't know, I mean, you'd have to switch back and forth between the desktops. So you couldn't see both at the same time.
Right.
You'd
Good
have,
point.
yeah, I think the split screen method is the better way to go on with that particular kind of thing. And if you have the transcript open, you can go up to the top and you can say pop. I think it says pop out or something. What does it say?
So you have to have
Yes,
two
let's pop
separate
out.
programs running then.
No. Zoom, the Zoom transcript, which normally is a panel on the right-hand side of the Zoom window. You can pop those out. You can pop chat out, and you can pop participants out, and you can pop the transcript out. And then you would drag the one transcript window to one side, and then you would have the Zoom presentation on the other side and the two different windows.
Okay, I'll have to give that a try. I've tried
give that a
before and it didn't seem to pop out.
Try the
okay.
control, as in the video I showed you. If you hit control in the square box left or control in the square box right, you should be able to pop it out.
Okay.
No, you have to pop it out from within Zoom. So you
Right.
first go into Zoom,
Right.
you open the transcript. At the top, there's a down caret, and you can close it or pop out. When you pop it out, it becomes a separate window. Then I can take the title bar, and I just use drag and drop, and I go over to the side. Ooh, maybe it doesn't work that way. But you could, let me try it that way. And okay. I hadn't actually tried it before. And where did the transcript go?
I didn't see that it works in Windows.
Yeah, I have a feeling that, no, it's popped out, but it's going to stay within. Oh, that won't work that way either. My apologies. I thought it would.
Okay, that's what I had experienced, but I
Okay.
was wanting to see.
Let's see if I can. I'll play with it for a little bit.
John, you play with it for a minute. Chris, Chris Wazinski, do you have a comment for us?
I have a question. I had totally forgot about virtual desktops and split screen. I'm just a simple user, but I often have 20 or 25 tabs open, and this sounds like it might solve some of that problem. But my question is when you shut your computer down, either closing the screen or completely shutting it off, does the virtual desktop and things you have set up disappear, or are they still there?
I'm quite sure it disappears.
I'm not sure on that. I don't want to do that on my Chromebook that's here, because that's going to disconnect me, and it's going to be a pain to reconnect it. I don't know the answer to that, Chris. I should. I think they go away. I think it's a virtual. I think it's a virtual. Stu, do you know the answer to that?
No, but I'm guessing they go away.
Stu, unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
No, Stu.
I have a question. Ron, you're so good at doing these, and Hewie, you're both so good at doing these videos. Have you tried that Screencastify program that's in the new OS, Chrome OS? It's a way you can make a video and it actually records a transcript while you're doing it. It takes your verbal words and puts them into text. And I made up a cute little one where I send it to somebody that had a birthday. And it's just a little 2-minute birthday note. But it's actually a cute thing that you can do on your Chromebook. You can make a video. It's saved as a WebM, not as a MP4. on Google, and then you can download it and put it on your machine.
I have the paid version, and I don't think it's very expensive. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it does save it as a MP4, and I use it to do videos on my Chromebook. When I want to do that.
Huey, hold on. So I think hold on here. First of all, what Stu's talking about is different. I think his terminology isn't correct. He's talking about the one that is built in to Chrome OS, not Screencastify, which is a paid program, okay? Or a free.
That's a paid program.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you're talking about that. In fact, I did a whole video about that, and we actually played it a couple of months ago. And you're right, it works very well. I don't use it for a variety of reasons, but it does work well. One of the big problems is the format, which you mentioned, and the video editing software that I use does not use that format, and it won't convert it. So I don't know why they didn't. The Achilles tendon of that thing is that they needed to save it as an MP4, and you have to use VLC or one of the video converting program to convert the WebM, whatever that is, what is it, WebM4, WebM, you've got to convert it to MP4, and that's the problem. But you can send that, like you said, you can just send that and it works okay. But
if you play it back on a regular computer, on a Windows computer or a Linux computer,
right.
You don't get the transcript window. All you'll get is the video.
Right.
And but if you play it back on another Chromebook, you'll get the whole thing.
Right. And it works great. It's absolutely great. It works great. And I was going to use that when I made some of my videos. In fact, I was all excited about it. It was going to save me a little work. But in fact, it ended up costing me more work because I had to convert each clip to an MP4, which wasn't inherently very easy to do. So I guess you have to be a little bit. That's the only cautious thing I would say about that. But it works very well.
Yep.
It works well. And Hewie and I both have used Screencast-O-Matic, which is, they have a free version and a paid version, and that we use that for making videos on our Chromebooks for a long time, and that worked well. But the way I make videos is even better, and what I do is I do it through a Zoom meeting. I have my Chromebook logged in. I create a Zoom meeting and have my Chromebook as an image, and then I do a screen capture right into my video editing software, and it just works great. There's no conversion, no nothing, and it works right in. And I use a program called Camtasia, which of course is a Windows editing software, and I capture the Chromebook right into that software through a Zoom window. And that's the way I do it, and that's the way I found it is the easiest for me.
I've tried in Linux. I've tried Caden Live, which is actually a very nice video program.
Right.
It's free. It's not anywhere near the complexity of your Camtasia.
Right.
But it's something for an average Joe who could learn to use it.
Right.
Doesn't have a steep learning curve.
Go ahead.
I don't think any of the video editing programs are for the average Joe. They're fairly complex.
Yeah. Screencast-O-Matic, if anyone is interested in doing video recording, Screencast-O-Matic would be my vote for a Chromebook, because it works on a Chromebook, works well on a Chromebook. There's good video editing in it. Does a lot of cool stuff, and it's without getting too sophisticated, it works great.
Yeah, Bob used that quite often.
He does. Bob's really keen on it. Yes, he does.
I think that's what he uses for all his videos.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ed, go ahead.
We can go back to the desktops a minute. All the desktops, when you close, all the tabs close, but the names stay there. And what I've done is put the tabs that I want to open on the desktop there, and when I start it back up, I go to each one of them, look what's email, and I've got a couple email places, and I'll start each one of those tabs. I go to YouTube and put the ones I like to follow there. All 8 of them are busy with people I follow or like to go to. And you can have 10 or 20 tabs open on each one of those windows, and
Right.
with one key switch back and forth, so it doesn't clutter up your screen so bad and you get lost, because the tabs get so small I can't tell what I'm doing. But when I divide them up by 8 and title them that I know which one I'm going to, I can pretty well figure out where I'm going.
Ed, that's exactly right. That's exactly the why you would use them, and it works well. You can you switch between them pretty easily, don't you?
I guess they were
Yeah.
silent. Yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead, Chris. Chris Rosinski, did you have another comment? No.
Oh, no. I do notice when I shut them, maybe this is pretty basic, but when I shut the machine down and it comes back on again, it asks me if I want to restore my tabs, and I click yes, and I'm right back in business. But I don't use any of the well, just a minute. This split screens or the other thing, and I probably should, but I'm a real simple user. It's like a pencil. The Chromebook's like a pencil for me. I don't get too deep into it.
The other thing that you may, again, we talked about this on the show earlier today on our Tech for Senior Live, is that this is we're moving into Black Friday, and this is a very, very good time to look at if you're interested in upgrading or buying a new Chromebook. I noticed our local Costco has 4 Chromebooks that are on the floor now, and they're all discounted, and we're going to see even more discounts as we come into Black Friday. Of course, with the cooling off economy and interest rates going up, all those ships, of course, that were there in the summer, that all those hundreds of ships off California coast that were all waiting to unload, have all unloaded all their stuff, and it's shipped to warehouses, and they're all hoping to sell it this Black Friday. So we're going to see a lot of big sales because they want to get rid of product. So I think that there will be some great deals on new Chromebooks that are faster, bigger hard drives, whatever you're interested in. Keep an eye on that, because I think we're going to have some good deals. Hey, what do you think, Hewie?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And to change the subject, somebody this morning was talking about something, and I mentioned that we were talking about email programs, and I was saying that I use a program for my email on my Chromebook, and I couldn't remember the name of it. It's called Type App, and I just put it in the chat box. It's I'm able to take all of my email addresses and get them all. I can either look at them separately or all as one inbox, and I really like it. I use it on my Chromebook all the time, and I have many email addresses that I can look at the emails all up together. So that's an app you might want to add to your Chromebook if that's something that you need.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill, I think it was you had asked about that.
All right. Well, you've only got a few minutes left. Chris, do you have a question?
I had a couple of comments about things in the show. We have 3 wireless printers going, and all the time, and so we always wonder. And we also have 4 different sources of hotspots in order to connect to them. So it's an interesting problem. But once we set up the printer in the Chromebook, once we go to print and bring the little arrow down where all the printers show up, one of the things, sorry about the echo, my wife's got the thing volume on her system here. But what happens is that the ones that aren't attached to the particular hotspot, will say it can't, they can't go here or there. So we just, if you just wait a second after you go there, and you have multiple printers, you will eventually see one that doesn't say doesn't work, and that's the one you click on. And the other thing is, occasionally we have 3 HP printers, and occasionally the printer hiccups. In other words, nothing goes to the printer. You can spend a day trying to fuss around in your Chromebook. Just go over and turn it off and turn it back on again, and it starts up every time.
It's good advice. Good advice. It finds everything and just does it and figures it all out, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm glad my old Chromebook's still running pretty well.
Well, it's still going. You were talking about, sorry about the noise. I guess must be right on the hour, or my clock's fast because the bird clock is going off. So I better stop till I go.
All right. Well, we've pretty much run out of time, Hewie.
I guess we're not going to get to the Facebook articles, but I do want to remind people that we do post to our Learning Chromebooks Facebook page articles about Chromebooks that come up in the news. So it's a good thing that you should check them. Let's see if I've got somewhere. I may be able to give you a whole bunch of them here. No, I changed something here, so I can't do that. Never mind.
So everyone remember that we'll be sending you out a note probably later on today or tomorrow with this recording. And if you want to watch anything, you can certainly do that again. In there will be both the listing for both the videos we showed you. Those are standalone videos on each of our sites, so you can certainly watch those again. And remember, in November next month, we will not be having a Learning Chromebook. So we won't be having a session. Our next session will be in December for just probably before Christmas. If you please, on your Chromebooks, make sure that you check for the latest version. We'll be seeing hopefully 106 coming up. Maybe we'll even have 107 by December. Anyway, we'll see where we go with that. I don't have anything really more. Hewie, do you have any final comments you want to make?
No, just keep enjoying those Chromebooks. There, more and more people are getting them, and more business people are using them, and so it gives us more insight on how to use them, because some of the people who know how to work around things, and of course some of the programmers are doing some nice things as well. So this is a good place to get information to help you, to help answer your questions. And again, check the Learning Chromebooks on Facebook page that we do post the new articles of information for you to keep up with this stuff.
Great. Okay, till we see everyone again, don't forget Tech for Senior on Monday. We'll see everybody. We'll see everybody on Monday, and we'll see you again in about a couple of months.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Hope
Thank
to
you.
see you Monday at Tech for Senior Live.
Thank you.